Today's basics is going ultra basic. I didn't even consider this to be one of the things that would be on this show, but after doing some casual content this week, I hate how many people are stood in front of the boss DPSing. What is wrong with you? Do you not see that you're getting parried? Do you not see that? You can see that, right? You can see that parries are happening, surely. Okay? You guys can see that. Where's he going? I can't, dude. This guy. What the? By God, does this need to be reminded to a lot of players? The TLDR of this video, you should always be attacking enemies from the rear if you are melee, every single time. You can attack in a 180-degree arc, so if you think of the enemy's waist, going out from the sides, you can attack anywhere around there, and that is where you should always be attacking. Be it Mythic Plus, be it Raid bosses, it doesn't matter, but you should always be doing this because you are losing so much damage by not doing this. It is crazy. It doesn't matter how much you've studied guides, watched videos, it is all irrelevant if you are attacking the enemy from the front. So, if you don't want to see the end of the video and understand why, that's enough. As long as you put that into play, you'll be fine. There are some occasions where you do need to attack from the front even temporarily, so Sire Denathrius with his Cleansing Pain, you need to move in front, but then you want to get behind again in order to get straight back into doing big damage. So why? Why is this important in World of Warcraft, and why do people seemingly not realize where a good portion of their damage is disappearing? When you attack an enemy from the front, it has all the abilities similar to a tank in order to avoid your damage. They can parry, they can dodge, they can do all of those things that prevent you from making contact with them, which means sometimes it's just white hits and you're losing white damage. But very rarely, but it does happen, you will lose some form of special abilities, or your Sinister Strike, or your Demon's Bite, whatever it might be, will just not actually happen. And in some cases, in really rare cases, it actually will consume the ability, but it didn't make contact because it didn't land. So something like in PvP where you went to attack and it didn't land and it's still been used and gone, which means a massive portion of your damage can disappear. When this was brought up on stream, some people were saying like, yeah, but it's kind of RNG and it doesn't matter that much. And in a couple of tests, it's anywhere from like 1 to 6% of your attacks don't make contact that would if you're attacking from behind. It's not about that 1 to 6% and going, that's not a big deal. It's about what those attacks are. Sure, sometimes you might get lucky and you don't need to think about it and you can forget about it and get all those things done. But every now and again, it's going to be one of them super abilities that you just don't want to have miss. So that is the main crux of why we do this. You must always be attempting in all forms to be attacking the target from behind. And you'll just notice that you gain that extra little bit of damage. You'll notice that those abilities that you fight off actually land. They actually make contact. Now, it used to be that attacking from the front caused some enemies to do crazy things like counterattack or increase their parry speed. Mother Sharaz would be a great example of that. You needed 3 tanks, which all had to stand in front, but they weren't allowed to attack because it caused her to kill the main tank on some occasions. Thankfully, a lot of that is gone now. But still, for your own personal benefit, please God, attack the targets from behind. You should always be doing this. Now, you are going to say, Preacher, it's not always that easy, right? With a giant boss, your Sludge Fists, whatever, your Sire Denathrius, very easy to figure out which way the boss is facing. And also, you'll gradually get more and more annoyed with those tanks that spin the bosses around for some reason and disco the boss. A good tip is, and this is a problem that's kind of in the new raid, like Lady Sylvanas, one of the criticisms of the Sylvanas fight is the Sylvanas is not particularly big. That means that in the cluster of melee and tanks and pets, it's hard to see exactly what she's doing by her character model. But the trick is, follow the pets. Always good advice. There are so many pet classes in World of Warcraft right now, and they are automated to attack from behind. So what you could do is if you were struggling with a particularly small enemy, so in a Mythic Plus it's not too bad, there's only 5 of you, but in a big raid it can be cumbersome to figure out which way the boss is facing sometimes, especially if your tanks are like gnomes or something like that, so you can't really see where they are in all the mess. Look for where the pets are. You know, you've got them Beast Mastering Hunters or whatever that have large pets. Any of the Warlock pets, any of the Unholy DK pets, you'll see that they will move around to the back of the boss at all times. Now, bear in mind, they're going to be directly behind, and as I said earlier, you do have this 180-degree arc where you are technically still attacking from behind, even though you might be stood off to the side. So that's something you want to bear in mind as well. So those are the simple tips. I know this is mega basic for today, but god damn, it's important, guys. Can't forget these ultra basics, and that's what this series is here for. So thank you very much for listening. See you again next week for another one. Remember, as always, leave your ideas down below. Well, that was going back to ultra basics, but I love it. I love it. These are all the things that I see so many players making these mistakes every single week on week on week, and if we can address that in some way and prevent you from making these mistakes, then we're all going to have a better time, and we're all going to have a better World of Warcraft experience. Remember to check out our website, preachgaming.com, for any news and info about other events that we're running. Other than that, guys, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.